In gaming, there's one aspect that will keep players coming back, and that's the endgame elements to keep players entertained, interested, and drawn together.
This looks like a cool boss
Here's
fight.
a look ahead to Diablo 4's announced endgame modes and what to expect.
Big boy. I love Diablo, by the way.
Before we begin, I want to advise that the details is taken from the closed endgame beta done in the end of 2022.
Yeah,
so the
anything
modes
could
and
have
challenges
changed.
discussed may change, and additional endgame modes may be added to Diablo 4 closer to release.
Okay. Makes sense.
Diablo 4 announced a few endgame modes that players can experience in-game, and were tested in the closed beta ending in 2022.
It looks pretty good.
These modes were Helltide, Nightmare Dungeons, Fields of Hatred, Whispers of the Dead, and the
I know
Paragon
what a few of
boards.
these are.
So here's a rundown on what to expect from these modes.
Why is my...
Helltides
Okay,
are
there we go.
region-wide events that
Sorry.
are only available to players in World Tier 3 Nightmare difficulty.
So you
The
have to be
demons
busy
of Lilith
in-game.
are stronger,
Okay.
more powerful, and come in abundance. They drop loot corresponding to the difficulty you are playing on. In addition, monsters can drop cinders, which are a dedicated currency for Helltide chests spread
Okay.
throughout the respective regions.
Makes
These
sense.
chests provide an exclusive single item slot piece of equipment, but you have to be wary, because if you fall in Helltide, you lose all your cinders. So make sure you don't hoard them.
That makes sense. Something he also missed out on for the Helltides part is there's going to, from what they're saying, is there's actually going to be environmental threats as well that are going to be like meteor showers, sandstorms, stuff like that. And they are mass open world, so like you and all your friends and like a bunch of random people can be doing them at the same time to get like really, really high tier loot. And instead of elites inside of them, there's going to be something that's called harbingers, which are basically elites, but if they just smoked fucking crack, right? And they're just gonna like be 10 times harder. That's how it is. So that is something he did miss out on, but yeah, he is correct about everything else.
Nightmare dungeons are just as they sound, dungeons of your nightmares. With massive amounts of creatures and
They had
loot
these
halls,
before.
these dungeons will become available to the players once you obtain a Nightmare Sigil, which are obtained by completing
Yes.
dungeons in Nightmare modes, and will add special modifiers that increase the ferocity of monsters. Each sigil provides a new form of modifier which increases the difficulty, however at the same time increases the potential for higher rarity item drops. The more Nightmare dungeons you complete, the more sigils you will receive.
So something that a lot of people don't explain with this too, which I don't know if he's going to explain or not, but is that when you get it is, yes, it is like a sigil, but you're essentially just going to a normal dungeon and just making it a Nightmare dungeon, right? And on top of that, it's not like you just get a sigil and you go to any dungeon you want. It's you get a sigil for a specific dungeon that you can do on Nightmare mode. That's what the sigil is for. It's not for like, oh, if you get this one sigil, you can do any dungeon that you're choosing. It's like, no, you're gonna have to grind out. So if you want to set from a certain dungeon that comes from that dungeon in Nightmare mode, right? Then you're going to have to get sigils for that dungeon specifically, and then you're gonna have to go run that dungeon.
And you can continue to grow the dungeons up in difficulty, which benefits you in the end. As players increase in world tiers, new Nightmare dungeons will also become available with higher tier loots and rewards. The Whispers of the Dead are a similar concept to dailies.
Whispers of
Once
the
you
Dead are
complete a
pretty cool.
specific chapter in the main quest line, the Whispers of the Dead become available to the player. This endgame mechanic will display whispers on your map scattered throughout Sanctuary, which change throughout the day. Once you complete these whispers, which are
Essentially how they describe these were to just make it really simple is nightmare events. That's all they are. They're nightmare daily events, and they happen random times. So you could go to an area, right? Like you could go to an area at 6 a.m. and do a nightmare daily event, and you get like nightmare gear. Okay, that's cool, right? But then on top of that, if you go there, like let's say you go there 2 hours later, an event could be there, but it could be a completely different event from my understanding, which is probably going to cycle between like 5 or 6 events, maybe even 8, if we had to assume, because that's how most MMOs are, right? Like that do that type of thing is they cycle through 5 or 6 different events, and then you can just go there during those times during the day, get what you need. This is another way to just get like full nightmare gear, basically.
are considered small tasks, you will be given gold, experience, and grim favors. The grim favors varies depending on the whispers you complete, but once you collect 10, you can exchange them at the Tree of Whispers for a wide haul of loot and experience.
Yeah.
Fields of Hatred are your PvP-focused endgame mechanics. Mephisto has curse-specific areas of sanctuaries where players can dispatch demons, earning them Seeds of Hatred. However, you need to keep a keen eye as other players can also run into these areas.
Yeah, this is something that's really cool. So basically, they're just making PvP zones. To put it simply, they're making PvP zones, and in those PvP zones, you can get loot from like doing normal shit that you would normally do in the game. You can also fight players and kill them, and you can take their hatred seeds. Bro, that's my understanding of it. And how they're trying to make it is where people can't like camp an area either. Like, so they're trying to make the areas very vast and wide open. So you can't just have like a character camping behind a barrel that you barely just can't see or something like that. They're trying to just avoid that completely and just make the areas very vast and very open.
And attack you for the seeds. But if you're quick, you can bring them to the altar of extraction and transform them into red dust. The benefit here is that once they are transformed into red dust, you cannot lose them if you are defeated in battle by another player. However, if you are not able to get them transformed and you fall in battle, your Seeds of Hatred will be dropped and can be picked up there. So
That's
make sure
cool
to give
move.
yourself enough time.
That was
But
a
what does the
cool
red
move.
dust do, you ask? Red dust can be spent at the PvP cosmetic and mount vendors for cosmetic rewards.
Oh yeah,
Merely
that's pretty
cosmetic attire, but worth it in my opinion.
I really enjoy that they make everything in the game feel needed, right? Because how I understand it is like all your events and everything are going to be going on in old zones. It's just the difference between now you get to play the old zones in nightmare mode instead of playing them in normal mode. So you could be playing a level 1 mode, well, like a level 1 area, right, in Diablo 4 that in reality has been boosted to nightmare mode for a period of time for that event, which is pretty sick. And being that they make it where you can get loot or skins from everything, I think it's very, very easy to like, I guess, boost it to another level. That's the best way I could put it, right? They boost it to another level where everything feels important. It's not just run this dungeon, run this dungeon, run this dungeon, run this dungeon, like how like Diablo 3 was once you hit in game. In this game, if from my understanding, they're gonna be like vast open world, and when you get on a map, that map is gonna be like, oh, you're a nightmare mode player. Here's your nightmare mode for the map. Go play it, go grind it out. You're gonna get a bunch of different rewards. I think like we're gonna see a lot of people just doing PvP, to just like fuck people over. We'll probably see, if I had to guess, we'll probably see a few groups who literally just PK everybody. You walk in the zone, they see that you get those like red gem things, they kill you, they get your dust, and then they just like split it between all their boys, so that way they can get skins instead. I wouldn't even doubt it.
These are just to name a few endgame modes in the game, with more expected to be announced closer to the date of release. Also make note that these can change depending on player feedback and experience. And yes, I did miss one more mechanic, the Paragon boards. But in all honesty, I've already done a video on those and you can watch it right here. What are your thoughts on the endgame mechanics and what are you looking forward to the most? Make sure to leave a like, comment, and sub to the channel if you find yourself coming back
Okay, I'm gonna like this, and then we're watching Paragon boards because
for more Diablo 4 news and guides. Thank you for watching, and see you in Sanctuary.
like
Leveling your character.
okay. Yeah, I think overall the PvP looks really good. Like, I'm just not gonna lie. I think that the PvP, I think the in-game dungeon system, I think it all looks really good. I know some people are like, oh, well, they're gonna have a battle pass. Who cares? 99% of games these days have a battle pass. Who cares if they have a battle pass?
Character is always an important aspect to make you the most powerful around, and where every hit will explode someone else's character with ease. But once
it's
you
probably
hit
hard
the
to make
cap,
these videos
where
because
do
like
you
all
go
of them
from
look
there?
the same.
Well, this is why this look-ahead video for Diablo 4 looks at their Paragon system and what you need to know.
Yeah, I haven't seen this yet, so this is gonna be all new.
Diablo 4 has a max level cap of 50. Once you hit that, regardless of class, you then turn to the Paragon system, where you can fine-tune and really focus on what best suits you. Now please make note that this video covers the system at this time, and can change as we get closer to the Diablo 4 release. When you begin the Paragon system, you begin at the class-specific central starting tile, and you branch out from there. Once you reach a tile referred to as the gate tile, you can branch out to a new Paragon board, which you can attach to your growing abilities and power stats. But we'll get into that later.
Crap.
Paragon boards are more focused on adding bonuses to your character, and the more tiles unlocked, the stronger you become, and adds such a wide variety of ways to play in which you can change tweak, and focus on new aspects during other playthroughs. This image may seem all over the place, but here's a more simplistic version from the Blizzard blogs. All tiles are fixed, and as you progress and play the game, you earn Paragon points. Again, this is after you've hit level 50. Those points are then used to unlock and connect tiles, and here are the types of tiles that you will be unlocking.
Okay.
Normal tiles are intended to provide a stat boost and are the most common tile throughout the board.
That makes sense.
Magic tiles provide a more robust, diverse set of benefits and come found in a cluster throughout the board.
Interesting. So that means I wonder how PvP is going to be balanced then. I wonder if it's going to be like they're going to set up different PvP zones for people that are higher tier. So then your higher tier people are always fighting higher tier people, but you can still go into them as a lower tier if you so decide to. Or if they're going to make it where it's just normal PvP, you just walk in. Because if that's the case, we're going to see some mega sweats that are going to walk in. You're going to think, I'll just kill the guy. You hit him, and you're like, I didn't do any damage? What the fuck, man? Oh, no. And you're just like, alright, time to run.
They're less common, but they're still plentiful. Rare tiles are a significant boost in power, and some may use them as specific milestones or guidelines to attain to. These are good when the player wants to specify the type of build they are working towards. Not only that, rare tiles also have an additional power that can be activated once certain attributes are met. It can be a deciding factor on what path you wish to take on the Paragon board. Legendary tiles will usually be in the center of each new Paragon board you are working on, and will provide...
Looks like it's going to be essentially more skills, right? Or like mass buffs, more so. So while Fury is about 50%, you deal 30% more damage. So this basically means if you're running like a Berserker build, I'm assuming you pop Fury. Fury is about 50% because you just popped it, and then you just go like crazy. You do 30% more damage for probably like 3 or 4 seconds.
Provide you a new legendary power and or a massive increase in stats. Those are the 4 different tiles in the Paragon board. That's not all, because alongside tiles, we also have glyphs and sockets, which are just as important. So let's talk about those. When it comes to glyphs and sockets, it's good to know what each do. Sockets are a special tile that can contain a glyph. Glyphs are found in dungeons and throughout sanctuaries that can be embedded into the Paragon board using an empty socket.
That's crazy. If it's giving this much of a boost, like, I hope Blizzard does really well. I have really high hopes. Blizzard overall is a good company. Like, let's be honest, Blizzard overall is a good company. Do they make mistakes? Yes. That does not mean they aren't a good company, though. I think as long as they're smart about it, Diablo 4 could be... It could win Game of the Year. Like, I'm not going to lie. As long as they're smart about it. There's a lot of games coming out this year, but it could win Game of the Year if they're really smart about it.
Socket to add additional stat boosts and effects to your character. Each glyph can be leveled up by completing or competing in dangerous dungeons and extend their radius of effects, enhancing additional tiles throughout the Paragon board. In the end, with the addition of tiles and glyphs, you can enhance your character beyond its capabilities and do some impressive damage. But what happens when you reach the edge of the board? Well, that's when the gate tiles come in. And what these are tiles that are doors to unlocking the new Paragon board, which will encompass a new set of normal, magic, and rare tiles.
This hurts my brain, dude. So that means you're like, if you're really serious about playing, right? You'll stack 1 board, you'll stack 2 boards, you'll stack 3 boards, you'll stack 4 boards, 5 boards, 6 boards, 7 boards, so on and so forth, until you're just cranked out of your mind, bro. That's crazy. I wonder if there's going to be a max how many boards there are, or if they're just going to keep it as, like, you just can have infinite, but it's going to keep being harder and harder to get them.
With a legendary tile in the middle. Interesting to note that based on the Diablo blogs, you have the ability to rotate these boards when you gain access using the gate tile. This way, you can plan out how you want to expand on the board and plan out the tiles you want to unlock. When it comes to leveling, Diablo 4 seems to be more in-depth with character stat builds and gives us the potential to make some pretty beefy characters.
That's cool.
What we've seen is very minor and a wide range of rare and legendary tiles available for us to expand on. What are your expectations of the Paragon board, and what do you want to see on it? If you want to know more about Diablo 4 and what to expect, please visit this playlist
That's pretty crazy. Like I'm not gonna lie, I really like how they put it together, and I like the fact that you can flip it. The only question, like I said, that I do have is how many boards are you allowed to have? Is it just infinite? Can I literally just keep stacking boards until I die, or do I need to do something else? Because if I was the devs, I would probably limit it to like at least six, in my personal opinion. But maybe their idea is something along the lines of how Diablo 3 was, is that the game was out for so long that people that were doing in-game content was all just like modded gear. So maybe that's what they're trying to avoid in this game. Maybe they're trying to avoid the modders completely by just making it where you can infinitely increase instead of making it where after like a certain point you're basically done unless you mod. That could be 100% what they're doing, which I could see that being like the reason why. Honestly, really good video by this guy. Yeah, he did an amazing job. That was great.